Welcome to the Social Bee podcast with your host, Louise Brogan. Every week, Louise will be bringing you a podcast all about women entrepreneurs, talking about their challenges, their goals, and inspiring you to either start your own business or grow the business you have. Visit www.socialbeeni.com to join our community and pick up some lovely freebies to start marketing your business online today.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Social Bee podcast. Today I have got a real treat for you. I'm going to be talking to Alison Matthews, who is a virtual assistant based here in Belfast and actually a member of my Social Bee Academy as well. So Alison runs a virtual assistant business called Virtual Ali and has lots of different clients that she helps out with. And I actually, if you've been to any of my events, sometimes I realise that people don't necessarily know what a virtual assistant is. So it's really great to have Alison on the podcast today so she can tell us all about the kind of services that a virtual assistant can provide. So Alison, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Great. And it's hilarious because we've just been speaking for about 45 minutes before hitting record and catching up on all the biz. I'm glad we didn't record all that bit to share. Alison, if you want to start by really introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your business and what your main products and services are.
Yes. So as Louise said, my name is Alison. I run Virtually Admin Solutions and I'm a virtual PA. And for those who don't know what it is, it's really like a PA, but I work remotely with clients. So I share a lot of documents, by email and cloud management packages, and I help them with their admin pain. So that really can be anything. I help quite a lot of people who organise events because obviously there's a lot of admin in behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And other people I help with editing documents and things like that. I book flights for people, and it's really just anywhere where people have admin pain. You'll find a lot of people as well maybe have grown the business over a couple of years and they don't have very many systems in place, and sometimes they need help streamlining processes and systems as well. So that's where I come along and help them and try to make life a wee bit easier.
So it's kind of like you might come along to a business and their current way of doing things is like a bowl of spaghetti.
Yes. And the thing is as well with people, often you don't see that. Like I, in my own business, don't see things like that as well. And maybe someone else will come and say to me, oh, why do you do it like that? Mm-hmm. And often the answer is because I've always done it like that. You know, it's habit that makes people do things like that. It's habit or ignorance that they don't know that there's an easier way to do it.
So would you say that part of how people benefit from working with you is that you can save them time?
Yes, the prime objective is to save time. Mm-hmm. So I take their admin pain away, and then when they're not doing the admin, they've got much more time either to concentrate on their own business or to be out. I find a lot of people actually they're not going out to network or do things that really could help them grow their business because they're always thinking in the background, oh, I've got all those, calls to make, or I've got all that admin to do. So it's to free people up to do what they're good at.
Uh-huh. Like what kind of calls would you make for somebody?
Well, I would make sometimes like credit control calls if they've outstanding invoices for things.
And hands up, who doesn't?
Yeah, hands up, who doesn't is right. It's right. And, there would be a few people a few clients that I would have that would maybe have big directors meetings where they have to find a venue in Belfast and organise all the catering. And so there's a lot of things like that take up a lot of time, but I can be doing that in the background. And I'm in a PA network as well, so it's quite good that I've got the contacts in that as well to help me out with things like that as well.
Oh, is that like a local network?
It's a local, it's called the Belfast PA Network. I'm on the committee of that as well. And most people are PAs in Belfast. And then there's me, the VA, but I started life obviously as a PA, and that's how I ended up becoming a virtual assistant.
Oh, let's talk about that. What's your career path been like to get to this when you left school?
Degree? Yeah, so I did French and German as a degree. Uh-huh. And then I did a postgraduate diploma in business administration with foreign languages. Ooh. So at the start, I worked sort of everywhere in Northern Ireland where you could use your language, but it was an administrative type role. Uh-huh. So the first job I had was in Ulster Carpets in the export department.
Right.
And I worked then in the tourist office for a while in Belfast. And then I just really wanted to go away somewhere to use my French, the French and German. So I went to work for First Choice Ski Resort in their headquarter ski resort, which was in the middle of nowhere in France.
Mm-hmm. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and then ended up in Luxembourg working as the project administrator on a big building project. They were building a new building. Mm-hmm. And then became the PA to the head of facilities management. And then I had another role after that as well. So I've always been in administrative type roles and very varied. And when I went then, I was in Luxembourg for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. And I just got to the stage, it was very hard to get home. It was very hard to get time off. And when I started to look for jobs, I couldn't see anything really that I thought, oh, that's very varied and interesting. Uh-huh. And then I happened to see a virtual assistant in England who'd been going for a long time, and she was offering a PA to VA course.
Right.
And I went for that. It was a weekend in London. I went on that and I thought, no, that's what I want to do. And then I came back to Northern Ireland and set it up.
That's fabulous. So how long ago was that?
So that was three years ago now. 3 years ago. So I'm home 4 and I set it up May 3 years ago.
That's brilliant. I think a lot of people, just when they find out what a VA can do, they're like, oh, wow, it's really fabulous. And one of the ways because I'm always promoting the use of virtual assistants with people in my one-to-ones and, when I'm out at events that I'm hosting. And I say, well, if you think about the money that you can charge for the work that you do, the money that you could pay somebody else to do the stuff that's taking you 3 hours and would take them 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It's just a no-brainer, isn't it?
It is, totally is. It totally is. It's like anything. It's like me with my accounts. Like I have an accountant and I outsource that because it would take me, as you say, 10 hours more than it would take him, Yeah. And that's my money. That's money that I can be earning, in another way. So, it's a no-brainer, as you say.
That's great that you did. I like that you did the course. So you did the course in person in London?
Yes.
That was interesting.
And it was very good, actually, because they go through all the pitfalls. Obviously, the lady had set it up 10 years ago. And they also give you a lot of templates about contracts and about, how to negotiate your first client. And there was that kind of backup, because I find now for a lot of people when they set up that from a contractual point of view, they don't really know where to start. Yeah. And I was quite lucky like that. At least I had a template, for a contract and terms and conditions and all those things to start off with.
Well, you weren't lucky. You were smart enough to go and invest in the training. Yeah. It's a big differentiator there for me.
Yes, it's true.
So what kind of clients do you work with, Alison?
Well, it's very, very varied. It's very varied. I have worked from everybody from a matchmaker to a fisherman.
Right.
And it is, I'd say most people are sole traders. Most of my clients are in Northern Ireland. I have done a bit of work for people in Luxembourg as well. Mm-hmm. And I'd say most people have been going maybe 10 years, but really are sole traders and are mostly working from their own office.
Right.
So it's people who, they don't have other staff to outsource work to, and they're very busy, and they are busy in every aspect of their life. Like they're just real go-getters,
And it's quite interesting you said that you book flights for people as well.
Yeah.
That's something I've never thought about outsourcing.
Yeah. Because it's quite time consuming looking up, lots of different travel things. And I know there are other companies in Northern Ireland that do things like that as well. So it can be outsourced.
That's a really interesting thing to think about, getting someone else to do for you. Mm-hmm. That's great. And now, Alison, you are quite an active person.
Yes.
What gets you up and out of bed in the morning? And you're probably going to tell me like a dip in the sea or something.
Well, I'm going to tell you that 2 to 3 times a week I do get up about 5:30 because I go to my local swim club.
Okay. I knew it.
So we swim away between 6:30 and 7:30. So that is what I do. That's what gets me up. But it's actually very good because it's a sort of time that you're not thinking, you're just moving, and that you really have a brain break. And then you come home and you go, okay, this is what I have to do. And you get stuck in.
Yes.
Which is very important also when you're self-employed. As I said in a Facebook post recently, I was helping someone a few weeks ago find a portable sink. That was not a joke. I actually was. So it's everything from researching sinks to, booking a flight.
Yes. Because if you get up and do the same thing day after day after day,
it's boring.
Mind-numbing. That's the joy of entrepreneurship, I think.
Yeah. And like a new client actually said to me recently, he said, is it not really daunting every morning that you get up and you kind of think, oh, what is the day going to bring? And I said, no, but that's the joy of it. It's such a challenge every day. And, there's things I don't know how to do, but then you learn how to do them.
Is that person an accountant?
No. Close. No.
You know what? Everybody walks their own path in life. That's the joy of being an individual, isn't it?
It really is.
So, Alison, if you looked at your first couple of years in business, is there anything that you would do differently if you were to start over again?
Lots of things. I think you're always learning, aren't you? You're always learning when you're setting out. And like at the start, I have to say, I was going to a lot of networking things, and it takes you a long time, I think, to really weed out what is useful and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's just something really that you learn, I suppose, as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And I outsourced my accounts from the very start. The other big challenge for me, it was the marketing, and I didn't realise in a way how important it was to market the business.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very much that thing, that you build your website and then you just think that like thousands of people are going to be phoning you up.
Yes, where is Kevin Costner and his Field of Dreams?
Where are these people? And it doesn't happen like that. And actually, even to do a call like this today, you kind of think, oh my goodness, there's an hour,
Mm-hmm.
I could be doing this, this and this. But you always have to think long term, okay, I'm doing this now, but think of the potential people that are going to hear me and then learn what a VA is and hopefully contact me, to find out more about my services. So
yes,
you have to think long term.
Oh, absolutely. So I feel terribly guilty that we leathered on.
No.
We hit record.
It's quality catch up.
What would you say has been your biggest win so far in your business?
Well, I think the very fact that I am still going in business after 3 years
mm-hmm.
is quite an achievement. The other thing it was very hard for me at the start because I had actually lived out of Northern Ireland for 15 years before I came back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had very, very little contacts, and I had really only one or two people that I knew were self-employed.
Right.
And so I was really starting from scratch to try to get business and to try to make all those contacts. And I was actually talking to someone the other day, and they joked with me and they said, everybody. And, they were laughing, but I thought actually, well, that's part of my business. It's part of my business. If you phone me and say, where can I get a t-shirt printed with some logo like ASAP, that I know who to call. So the networking was actually very important.
And so I know that you are in, you mentioned something there about the Belfast PA network, but I know you're also in Toastmasters. Are you in, so you talked about having been to lots of different networking events.
Yes.
You now have a handful that you go to and are part of.
Yes. So the PA network I've been on now on the committee, and actually from the very, very start, I was in Banbridge networking group, which we call ABC network.
That's your local council area.
And that's my local council area, really. So I've been in that since the start. Mm-hmm. And Toastmasters, actually, I joined because the very first Banbridge networking thing I went to, I was so terrified, even standing up for 1 minute. I thought, I am not going to survive in business if I can't get over my fear of speaking. Mm-hmm. And that's actually why I joined Toastmasters. And then this year, just gone past, I was their president, the first female president.
Well done.
In Lisburn Toastmasters. So that was very nice.
What is Toastmasters? So for anyone who's never heard of it, what is Toastmasters?
Yeah, so Toastmasters really it's an organisation that was set up a long time ago in America, and it is really to help people overcome their fear of public speaking and to have just more confidence speaking generally. So, some people join it because they have to give presentations and work. Some people join it because they're even afraid to speak up in work meetings and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's to find your voice. It's to find your voice in a way.
I think that's brilliant. And how often do you meet with them? We
meet twice a month. Mm-hmm. Twice a month.
And do people then, I have this vision, and it's a very bad analogy, but it's like Alcoholics